So I'm just getting started with it right now, but I thought I would pause here and document the rebuild of our firewood storage made entirely out of pallets and scrap lumber. I built one. I'll show a picture here. There was kind of 3 bays to begin with, but they were built at random times, and the middle bay was super small. It really wasn't ideal, but I will say for 3 years it all held firewood for us, which is wonderful, for a cost of $10 or $5 in screws and greenhouse plastic. But I decided I was going to take those down. I'm going to take that far one down and replace it with 3 bays that are larger and more uniform, but keeping the same ethic of building entirely out of pallets. So I went, it's about 3 miles away. There's a place, I just talked to the guy today, he said they generate 60 to 80 of these a week. It's a fitness supply place. It's kind of insane to me. They're generating treadmills and bicycles. People could be outside working. But anyway, I get these pallets for free, and I can take them apart with a crowbar where I need lumber. But for the most part, I try to use them. I'm lucky enough to find these nice 7.5 foot long pallets, but I would work with whatever I can get. And I'm just pausing here to show, a very rough sketch on building out the roof. I decided instead of using stripped out pieces of wood, I'm just going to actually make it out of a series of pallets. Redo what was a critical error on my first round, where for some reason, I had the roof pitched to the north, which means all the water would drip down, but we're on a pitched to the south and dripping down, and then the water would run under the wood. That's dumb. So finally rebuilding it where it pitches to the north. I'm going to have a contiguous block of 1, 2, 3 bays with a unified roof line, all out of greenhouse plastic. Learn from previous mistakes of not battening it down on top of it, but rather drawing a taut skin and battening it down on the sides. And I'm going to go ahead and make a gutter system where I can collect rainwater off of this, because this will be a significantly large, 7.5 feet by 21 feet. Is that 14? No? I won't do the math. You could do the math. But a fair number of square feet. I could definitely put a couple of 55-gallon drums for water storage. And to the north of it is gardens, so maybe I'll even build some trellises off of this. But I just thought I'd pause here and show it at this stage before I get too far along. I'll make a whole series out of these. This is day 1, hour 3 of building. I would say that first bay has $2 in it in high quality PGP screws. I'm frugal enough that when I took apart the first one, I took apart all the pallets carefully and took each screw out and put them in a container here. And I go through and I've got 2 different drill bits, and so I'll reuse my square star drive over and over again. I take these screws back out and reuse these projects. So what was a firewood shed that held all of our firewood for 3 years successfully for the cost of $10, for an additional $5 in new screws, I'll be able to build firewood bay, really nice storage for us with shelving, with poly over it, and more firewood. So we can have 1 year's firewood that we're taking from, 1 year that we're filling, and pulse back and forth, and have a central bay for storage. So stick around for that. I'll be building it over the next week. We're going down into single digits and then sub-zero temperature, so it's a good time to work on a project like this if you're insane like me. Bay 1 of 3 complete. Well, I'm still going to make some little wings to help shed water further and some other touches, but it's a nice afternoon in the cold. We'll continue on. So I'll check back in and see what happens with this. It's a big old mess right now, but it should be a pretty neat project when it's all done over the next week or so, and I'll keep you up to date.